Yo, what's up? This is your boy Neutron the Don. You feel me? This is your Film TV. What's good with you, man? How y'all been tonight, man? You know what I'm saying? How y'all been tonight, man? I don't know where y'all at. Now, what's the day, man? My days be getting mixed up. Y'all yourself a round of applause. Round of applause. 2 times. Round of applause. Give yourself a round of applause. Give yourself a round of applause. You know what I mean? Right now, man, we got Candace Owens versus Erica Kirk. You know what I'm saying? On the conspiracy theory. Hey, I don't know what to tell you. It's just real. Shit just real. Let's see what they got going on over here. Let's push play on.
Let's assume for a moment you're right, and that all these Egyptian planes were flying around tracking Charlie Kirk and Turning Point and Erica Kirk. Why? What is your theory?
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, what's your theory? You must have an idea.
My theory is that we should investigate everything strange that happened on that day so we can figure out what happened. The difference between me and you is that I have the courage to take the risks and ask the questions first, okay, before it's popular. You wait until it becomes popular and then you change your mind. Stop.
And she made no request of you whatsoever, Erica Kirk, in 4.5 hours. Well, no matter what your opinion is about Candace Owens, and very few people don't seem to have.
Hey, first off, fair use, fair use. This is for educational purpose, to criticize, to critique the conversation. Fair use. Hope I don't get copyright stricken, but shout out to Paris Morgan Uncensored. This is their footage. This is for me, for educational purpose, to critique and do my thing. But yeah, let's go ahead. What's up, y'all? Tap in, tap in, tap in. Let's see what they talking about.
One, she has a definite knack for commanding attention. Many people have been openly enraged by her theorizing on the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Many have been captivated nightly by what they see as either a thrilling real-time investigation into a colossal cover-up or a cynical strategy to exploit the most emotive and consequential news story of the year. Several of the Candace Owens claims are focused on Turning Point USA, the organization funded by Charlie Kirk and now run by his widow, Erica.
Hey, I'm going to give my opinion, and this is what they got going on. So I'm not liable or whatever. This is copyright. This is my education purpose, my critique, or whatever. By the amendment, you know what's going on. Fair use. Fair use.
Who last week issued this firm request.
She has been one of the main peddlers of these conspiracies, and she is making a huge amount of money on it. She is building her business off of these lies. What do you want to say to her and the other people that are putting these lies out into the world right now?
Stop. That's it. That's all I have to say. Stop.
Well, shortly after that, Candace Owens was invited to a lengthy private meeting with Erica Kirk, which is now the catalyst for frenzied speculation that she may be having second thoughts about some of her theories. She's also, I should add, marking the release of her new book, Make Him a Sandwich. And amid all of that, she joins me now for her first interview since the meeting with Erica Kirk. Candace Owens, welcome back to Uncensored.
It's good to be with you at the end of another
week. Do you think she's going to be singing a different tune? Hey, listen, man, put it in the chat. Wherever you're watching it, put it in the chat. Oh, my God. You know, Candace is a Caribbean. She's from Caribbean, so she don't represent our blackness. To my foundation, the black people. My foundation, the black Americans. She don't represent us. But I'm curious to hear when she's singing the same tune. I'm like, what is it, Egyptian playing? I thought they erased the Egyptians. What is Egyptian playing? I never heard of the Egyptians. Oh, who was the Egyptians?
Their year.
Yes, and what a year it's been. Not least for you. It's fair to say your fame continues to rise. Infamy, some would put it. But you're always a welcome guest on Uncensored. Let's get to this extraordinary meeting that you had with Erica Kirk. It came right after we saw her say in that CBS town hall, you should just stop with the conspiracy theories. So who approached who about you guys actually getting together?
I was approached by Turning Point after Blake Neff, who works on Charlie's show, sort of fumbled this invite. It was, I'd almost say it was a fake invite publicly. And then in the middle of the night said, oh, Candace is not able to be here tomorrow. And they never messaged me. And I think there was quite a bit of public backlash with how they went about it. It just was just not the way that we try to set meetings. And so what happened after was they reached out to me, said Erica would agree to do a live stream, just the two of us. And then after Erica's PR blitz, they reached out again and said that they felt that it was better for us to meet one-on-one as opposed to us sitting down having Megyn Kelly moderate, which was the idea originally.
Right. And so where did you have your summit meeting?
At a hotel here in Nashville.
And a lot of your, as you know, a lot of...
Hey, man, you look. It's like, her energy ain't the same, bro. I'm like, come on, man. Like, what's going on here? People, what's going on here? What's going on here? Her energy, she looking cold, calculated. Something going on here. We either finna get spun or she's gonna apologize. It's gonna be one of the two. We're finna get spun or apologize. All in the same. Might be both of them. Cause they put you in this trick bag with all this conspiracy theory shit. But is it? Cause I don't remember the last time I seen a Foundation of Black American on the roof sniping motherfuckers. And the motherfucker who they call a DC sniper, he wasn't Foundation of Black America. Let's get that straight. Shout out to all, my heart goes out to all the families that's affected by that, but it's just the truth. We woke now. Hashtag we woke now. Put it in the chat.
A lot of your supporters, fans of your show, think that you may have been lured into a trap. Did anything while you were there make you think you were being lured into a trap?
I don't know that a lot of my fans think that I was being lured into a trap. I think ahead of time they had some concerns, obviously, because I think in general, after you see a public assassination and you
hold on. First off, lured into a trap because she said she said that she was scared to go outside. She didn't want to go to the funeral and all this. Now listen. I'm just over the game, the shenanigans, man. Everything is about suspense and clicking views. We watching real life Hollywood. Everything looks scripted now, but it's like real life, like love and hip hop, like real life reality TV on this type of shit. That's my legend. This is how I'm feeling. Cause watch this tone. I haven't watched this interview, but let's watch it. My bad. I don't want to be a positive, whatever the fuck they want to call it. Let's go.
You start tracking so many lies that are happening, there's going to be an understandable amount of angst that people feel. And I certainly felt the angst as well. I've obviously been very clear that I am suspicious of some of the characters that are at Turning Point USA. So I totally understand why the public was concerned.
When you saw Erica, she was obviously angry about you in that CBS town hall. What was her demeanor like when you met her?
Well, I don't think that she thought she was angry in that. I think maybe that was the characterization from the public. I certainly thought she was angry as well. And she sort of clarified that she was a bit annoyed by the questioning, the way in which Barry had set up the question with the podcaster Candace Owens, which I think was definitely being driven more by Barry Weiss's.
Hey, man. The more I look at, I can see the Caribbean coming out. Like, man, I'm saying what I'm saying, you know. My bad.
Feelings towards me, long-running feelings towards me than it was perhaps for the benefit of CBS and trying to pretend to be an impartial journalist. So I think she was frustrated by the line of questioning, is what she explained to me.
So how would you categorize the 4.5 hours? If you were looking at it in totality, what was the tone of the conversation? What do you think you both got out of it?
Well, for me, answers to the questions of trying to understand why there were so many turning point lies and why instead of people acknowledging that these are lies, I felt that there was this billion-dollar psychological operation to convince people that Candace is just crazy. These aren't lies. These are made up. And so I was very refreshed that they owned up to the lies. That was a great first step. And I think, you know, what motivates that? Maybe because despite having what I would assume to be the best PR agents and crisis PR agents in the world, we're moving toward a different world where people don't really care, you know, if you are friends with the people at, what is it, WME and CAA and what they can do for you. That sort of power is ineffectual in this day and age. And so I think they recognize that, and that the public simply doesn't believe the story that they've been fed, and the psychological operation to convince us not to believe our own eyes or to trust our common sense instincts has failed. Okay, and I think on their end, they got more clarity on how I figured out certain things, more clarity on why I am convinced that there are people that are inside of Turning Point that are dirty. And I was able to share more with them off record. And I think that they got more clarity in exchange.
Before we get into some of the sort of specifics, is there not a danger here? I've already seen it in some of the reaction from people that follow your show. Is there not a danger that in seeking to be the one that exposes the truth, and I don't know the truth about what happened to Charlie Kirk. I work on the assumption that this lone, twisted weirdo Tyler Robinson killed him for whatever reason, and I suspect personally that is how this will play out. However, I have an open mind in the sense that we still don't really know what happened with President Kennedy's assassination. I found the attempted assassination of Donald Trump very odd in the way that that's been handled by the authorities and so on. I'm not naive. As a journalist of 40 years, I'm not naive enough to say every single thing you've been saying is obviously baloney, because I don't know. And we'll get to some of the more specific details. But is there not a danger, Candace, that by having a 4.5-hour private meeting, rather than doing it in public, that all you're really going to do, collectively, actually, you and Erica Kirk, is fuel the conspiracy theories about what you may or may not have discussed in that meeting, what part of the stuff that you've been broadcasting on your show she agrees with and doesn't agree with, and so on. Is there not a danger this is the least transparent way of going about trying to get solutions here?
Well, I'm a very transparent person, so my preference was to do it publicly, but I took the offer, obviously, to have any conversation, because if I hadn't done that, then I think everything I've been doing would have appeared disingenuous. Like, oh, Candace is pretending that she wants answers to her questions, but when she got this...
Oh, man, well, we're not going to be able to see the interview? So we're not going to be able to see the interview? I'm just saying, we're not going to be able to see the interview? Are you serious?
Offer, she suddenly said she didn't want to go because it wasn't public. They would have felt like I was moving the goalpost. So I was willing to take anything. And from their viewpoint, they felt like after the CBS News and the Fox News hits that Erica did, it was, my understanding was that they felt that it was a good idea to bring the temperature down first by having us sit down and communicate. And that doesn't mean that they necessarily say, oh, well, that's it. Now we're not going to have any other public discussion. I'm hopeful they will. I think they should. I totally agree with you. More transparency, the better.
Who else was in the meeting? Erica was there. Who else was there?
Justin Strife, who is the COO of Turning Point USA. And my husband was only there for a portion of it, and my cousin. So there were
no lawyers, for example?
No lawyers, but they did phone their lawyer because I asked the question. I was like, look, I'm open to being wrong. Obviously, if there is something, which I think the media was kind of hinting at, that they had more, but they couldn't share it with the public, I said, I'm happy to keep my mouth shut. And I want to feel good walking out of here that there is something there.
Man, listen to this bullshit. This explaining. What, man, you been going on this rant, man. Like, you probably got it. Man, listen, man, legend. What is the ties to all this shit you've been spewing? Excuse my language. I want to know. Cause like, damn, like you the biggest conspiracy theorists in the world, and like, and everybody think you represent us, but you not even us. I'm sorry, sis. Cuz, should call you cousins, cause you a kid to us. Probably our cousins, like tribal wise, like y'all probably whatever you want to call it. But I'm looking at it. Well, why you come on up? Like, come on up and not be the same one that you be while you in your studios. Come on in, come on, what all that, where that energy at? I don't see
there
it.
is some sort of smoking gun, and I will tell viewers just to be patient. And so they did call one of the lawyers working on this case, and it was not convincing at all. He said, in effect, all we have is what the public has seen, and we won't know more because we're investigating and looking for more. And so that just made me go, why is everybody being so over the top and ridiculous and using words like the evidence is overwhelming? It was Tyler Robinson, when they don't have anything that's overwhelming to show that they don't have a video of him taking the shot, which I think was something that I assumed, like, okay, there's all these cameras, maybe they actually have that video and they're waiting for a moment to release that to the public. They don't have that. Or at least I can say Erica's side has not seen that. And the lawyer communicated to me that they would not have access to that until earliest would be May, that right now they're just investigating, just like we're doing back at home.
Okay, you said that your motive for going to the meeting was that you would be able to come out and tell the world Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk. So are you in a position to say that? Do you believe, as a consequence of your 4.5 hours with Erica, do you believe that it is now most likely that Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk?
Absolutely not. I haven't seen one piece of compelling evidence that Tyler Robinson scaled the rooftops.
Oh, my bad. She's standing on business. My bad. Ooh. Okay, so she even killed. She got me. My bad. Let's continue.
Like Spider-Man on a college campus that he didn't go to, and fired one shot, a magic bullet shot, and killed Charlie Kirk. I have not seen.
So what was he doing then? That's what I want to know. Was he controlled allegedly by the ultralight, whatever they call it? What do they call it? They call it something. Something, man. It's like the shit with the Golden Circle, the Kingsman. When they was,
I've not seen one piece of compelling evidence. In fact, I've seen more compelling evidence to the contrary.
You've seen their vibrant ads illuminating billboards and train stations for many years. Now it's time you actually. Who does Erica think killed her husband?
Compelling evidence to the contrary.
You've seen their vibrant ads illuminating billboards and who does Erica think killed her husband?
Well, I think that in her recent PR blitz, she sort of communicated that she trusted her team, and her lawyer was using kind of the same rhetoric that the media has been using, where, there's really, this is like, it's overwhelming. Maybe he didn't say the word overwhelming, but he was like, it's very clear, I think is what he said in particular. And then I pushed back and I said, what's clear? The affidavit? That's all you guys have? And I did tell him, if you would never be my lawyer, because it's just, a lawyer that's just kind of giving you adjectives, and I don't need a cheerleader. I need someone to be practical and to say, we don't have anything yet. I think the communication should be, we are hopeful that throughout this investigation, we are going to uncover more evidence that links Tyler Robinson to this crime. I do feel confident that he was involved in some capacity on that day. As I have said many times on my show, I was the one who broke the story that he was at the Dairy Queen throwing out clothes, a local Dairy Queen, throwing out clothes in a nearby cemetery. And so I do think he was involved, and multiple people were involved that day. And I think he did pick up clothes. I had communication with Lance's family. I had communication with Tyler Robinson's family. And for some reason, Lance is being protected, which I find to be very strange. His own family thinks he's guilty. of Moore, and they find it weird that the feds kind of glossed over him, almost as though he was a Fed operative, like he was working on behalf of them. And we've caught the feds have lied a lot. It's just a fact. Turning Point USA people have lied a lot. That is a fact, which they have agreed to. They said that these were mistakes, but they, whether a mistake or not, the public was lied to. Mm-hmm. So this obviously, matters deeply to me. And it's just absurd that people would think that I'm doing this for clicks. I know Charlie. I knew Charlie. Charlie and I are very close. And it has been one of the most disgusting things ever that people first and foremost tried to start this psychological operation that Charlie and I hadn't spoken since 2019. They've lied about virtually everything that I've said on my podcast. I'm not going to let this go. Okay. We don't live in a country that is the embodiment of democratic principles. If Charlie Kirk gets publicly executed and the media apparatus is doing everything they can to cover the tracks, I would say to cover the tracks by demanding that there is no further inquiry into what happened on that day.
All right,
that is not a country that I can get behind.
Let's get to some of the details, because it seems to me you've put up a lot of theories, but a lot of them don't seem to have a clear conclusion from you about what you actually think happened. I mean,
yeah, I agree. It's a lot of spitting and explaining. You can't point to somebody. You can't point to nobody. Like, you spitting and explaining. Okay, come on, man. Come on, man. Yeah, she's spinning and explaining. It's political.
I mean, you've been all over this now ever since Charlie was killed. What do you believe happened to him? Who do you think killed him?
So I can't tell you definitively who pulled the trigger. I'm not going to lie to audiences and just put something out there that's not real.
Hold up. Well, I speak on it then. Damn. Shut the hell up then. If you can't tell us nothing, you talking about, man, shut up then. That's my advice. Because somebody else got popped. But you out here just on the, why you on the fucking campaign on some shit that what the hell?
But what I can say is I feel convinced that the feds were involved. I can tell you that. I think the feds were involved in staging a cover-up. I think Kash Patel knows what happened and did not happen on that day.
My bad. See, I'm watching this shit in real time. My bad. Continue then. Let me see what she got to say. Cause she, but listen, she know how to bait you in. She know how to bait you in. It's like when a woman said like, yeah, man, I would like to go on a trip. Yeah, we ain't got no money like that. You're like, man, we probably can work some out. You think so? It's a bait cook, man.
I am convinced by me being told by people that are feds that he is not acting right and that he is not wanting to share any information. Just a couple of people are allowed to even see anything. A fed told me that they can't even touch the Charlie Kirk file without risk of being fired, and that he's grown increasingly mad. The U.S. Marshals that were there when they were doing the quote unquote manhunt for 33 hours said that Kash Patel effectively sent them on a wild goose chase, which is what was signaled to the public when he said, we got him, and it was actually the wrong person. And so
Allegedly, is this, get your hand out my pocket. Is this that? Is this what she trying to say? Get your hand out my, the Malcolm. Get your hand in my pocket. You look this way. Why this going on? Is this what she trying to say? Is this what she's saying? I want to know. Is this what she's saying? Get your hand in my pocket. What is she saying? That's crazy. Let's go.
So it caused people to stop looking because they were convinced they had the shooter. They felt that was in order to allow the real perpetrators of the crimes to get away. I
Right, but that could
obviously,
just be the fog of the immediacy of these things. We've seen it at Brown University. Exactly the same thing. They thought they had the killer.
Man, listen, man. Like, shout out to them families, Brown University who affected. Let's just go ahead and do that. This is, matter of fact, fair use again. Fair use. That situation, like, all them cameras, like, ain't nobody get them on camera. Somebody would have got them on camera. Somebody would have got that content. People had to really die for that content. Think about it. People really die for the content. I mean, they probably can do, I seen this in the Young Thug trial. A geofence, everybody's in the location, they can be a potential witness. What this person looked like, what he had on, why he get on this campus. You know how this person got on this campus. There's no way that you can't, okay, this is where he came from, okay. Let's do stolen car. But you can track that out of there. You can track that. There's cameras everywhere, bro. This is allegedly, but 2026, they trying to do something because everybody woke now. We woke now. They got to do something. We're trying to scratch. This is my thoughts. We might be in for a rude awakening.
They thought they had the killer. It turned out to be the wrong person, right? It doesn't mean there's any great conspiracy by the feds to cover anything up. And again, even if what you're saying is true, I don't know, maybe you're right. If what you're saying is true, what is it they're covering up? You've so far intimated or inferred something weird involving Egyptian planes. So, well, what's that about? You've inferred perhaps Israeli involvement in some way. You've certainly inferred a lot of Turning Point USA involvement. That's a lot of people getting involved here in the murder of Charlie Kirk potentially. But what I'm really curious about is, given you've been all over all this and you've been airing all these theories, well, which one is it? It can't be all of these things. Is it somebody?
Well, of course,
is it someone at Turning Point USA? I mean, who do you actually believe was behind this?
Of course, it can be all of those things. And what's really ironic here is that there's a clip of Charlie in the last months leading up to his death where he speaks about the JFK assassination. And he says that multiple countries were involved, multiple people were involved, the LBJ was involved, the feds were involved. And he's correct. That is what it means. When there is a conspiracy, there are multiple people that are involved. Of course, there's not one person on a grassy knoll who shot JFK.
Well, it might have been
there are people who had to.
Yeah, I agree. Just like, I don't believe, like, it's a lot of shit that be happening. I don't be believing. When you've been through the criminal system, you know how the lengths they will go. American citizen, they got to believe that like, okay, if you used to believe that this is land of opportunity for people like me, my Foundation of Black America, you are crazy. We got to go and deliver and take. We got to take every opportunity that we have. And it's like, okay, you got to think. You're born with nothing, you come from nothing. That be your same story, over and over again. Now we desensitized from it. We already heard that. We heard that from kids. We heard that from this. We heard that from that. We heard that it's like shock. So, like, what other race, they say that, but what they say is, oh, some of my people left me some land. My people did this, we took this, we did that. How else you make an Elon Musk? How else you make a Donald Trump? But I fuck with Trump. How else you make the BlackRock? How else you make the Rockefellers? How else you make, like, come on, man. Let's wake up.
It might have been that we don't.
Would have had to. The Dallas police were involved.
Candace,
I'm answering your question. I'm answering your question.
But my point
is, why aren't you just going to point to one person? That to me, even that seems like a part of telling people not to believe their own gut. Obviously, for this to have been pulled off, there had to have been multiple people involved. There had to have been people at Turning Point that were complicit in having this happen. Now, who knows what their motivations are? Doesn't mean maybe this person's like, hey, I'm going to help you.
Hang on. Okay, let me stop you. Hang on. When you say obviously somebody at Turning Point, you are accusing right now people that worked with Charlie Kirk at the company he built, which is now run by his widow. You are directly accusing people in that company of being complicit in his murder, right?
I want to just be very clear connecting that dot. So I said that when there is a conspiracy, of course, there are going to be multiple people involved. So applying that same logic to JFK, right? Knowing, as I do, and as Charlie did believe that LBJ was involved, which then implicates the feds as having been involved, which then implicates the Dallas police station as being involved. I believe Israel was obviously involved, that they were the ones that wanted him dead for saying that what is now AIPAC should have to register under FARA. So there's motive. There are people that have to be involved on the ground that day. There are people that have to be willing to allow the perpetrators to get away. There has to be media that's complicit, and that's what literally Operation Mockingbird was. It was established.
But you know the problem.
To persuade the public.
Candace, here's the problem.
Well, hang on. It was established. So
but here's the problem with everything you're saying.
In this massive cover-up.
You keep saying, and this is where people think you're prone to endless conspiracy theories for whatever reason.
Okay.
Is you keep using the phrase they have to have been involved. So by that yardstick, what you're saying is with JFK's assassination, and we recently had a lot of the files released, which did not conclusively prove any of these things, right? Now, again, I don't know what happened to JFK, but the one possibility you've not ruled in is it was just as simple as Lee Harvey Oswald. It might have been. We don't know. Right, so when you say the media has to have been involved, Lyndon Johnson has to have been. But my problem is you're stating all these things as facts.
We can't do 63. So it's such a nonsense to say that it was Lee Harvey Oswald.
You don't know that.
That's just such a nonsense. Like, yeah, no, I do know it was not Lee Harvey Oswald acting by himself. And then that required national security to lock down the files. And that required the feds to impart, the CIA to impart Operation Mockingbird to convince the public that, you can't go against, there's a grieving widow. Don't look further into it. Don't believe your own eyes.
But let me just say, this is your, Candace,
it was a grand conspiracy that killed JFK.
Candace,
I am going to say that confidently. And I just think we have to grow up. We have to grow up. We can't keep pretending Lee Harvey Oswald killed JFK.
Fine.
We can't keep doing that.
That is your opinion. Today's show is sponsored by Oxford Natural, makers of the Optimum Day and Optimum Night all-natural supplements. Thousands of Brits and Americans are already taking them with incredible results. Optimum Day boosts your energy and supports weight loss throughout the day. Optimum Night, it's an opinion.
No, that's a fact.
No, it's not a fact.
It's a fact.
It's not a fact.
It's a fact.
The whole reason there are still conspiracy theories about JFK's assassination is none of this is a fact. You are floating it as your theory.
Because the feds are never going to admit to their own crimes. That is the reason we're still discussing it.
That may be the case, but you can't prove.
I kind of agree with that. They're probably always with reparations right now. Like, we got all the documentation. It's like a slap on our face every day. Like, history is just like, so what is history? We're not going to acknowledge it. We're not going to straighten it. We're not going to fix it. Because that shit bothered me. When I watch our culture be exploded, when I watch, I just sit back and watch, observe, and I'm like, damn, they really don't give a damn. Like, yeah, so listen, you're either going to be a rapper, an athlete, or you're going to be a prisoner. You're going to be an actor. Who's going to act in there? It's going to be one of the four. It's going to be entertaining, or it's going to be a prisoner. Imagine that. But let's continue.
That?
Yeah, well, I can prove common sense that Lee Harvey Oswald did not stand on a grassy knoll and assassinate a president. And LBJ, like Charlie says in that clip, which people should go pursue.
Yes, I know Charlie said
all of the weird things that happened that day that were unusual, and LBJ decided not to ride that day. And then suddenly he reversed course on all of JFK's policies, and he was fighting AIPAC. Israel killed JFK.
All right.
Now, going back to your point about Turning Point USA and the ridiculous idea that implicating...
That's allegedly... I mean, Candace say, oh, Lord, she going in. She going in. Listen, Caribbean, this y'all girl, she going in. She don't represent us, but I like her courage. Let's go. Shout out my Foundation Black Americans for watching.
$100 million organization.
Yeah.
Common sense, if this was not even a high-profile political assassination and this was just a guy who worked at a company that was $100 million, right? Common sense inquiry is, was there a financial motive for this person to be dead, okay? This is like Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, she do got a point. She do got a point there. She got a point. Because we know what he was doing. We know the rhetoric and all the crazy shit he got. You know, he got unalive in the mid-sentence talking about, are you talking about gang stats? He always with that type of stats, but everybody ain't scared folk, ain't killing folk. See, they don't include that into them stats. But now we woke now. That's why the movement is the delineation is a must. But you gotta ask yourself. She right. She had a pocket, but she right. Like the boy said in Captain America, she right. The black dude, she right. She had a pocket. She had a line, but she right. Because you gotta think, Turning Point got a lot of money flowing through there. It did have like, why are we supporting, like, not supporting them? Why are we funding other countries when we got starving Americans over here, homeless everywhere we look around? Like when people got money, bro, they tend to act right. Some people get out of line, but you know, we don't own no boats, trains, and boats. We wonder why the drugs is over here, but you know, that's not my place to talk. But let's go. Listen to Candace.
101. And this is what I mean when I say that the public no longer trusts the media because you're acting us to be stupid. And we don't want to do that. We actually don't want to pretend that we're clinical idiots who can't assess things and go, oh, there could be a massive motive here to have Charlie dead, especially when it seems very strange that Bibi Netanyahu, when nobody even had a clue of what happened, this guy's doing the rounds on Fox News and saying, I didn't kill Charlie Kirk. That's kind of weird. Did you feel compelled to jump on to Piers Morgan's show and say, just so everybody knows, I didn't kill Charlie Kirk? Why would he say that? So why was he so involved that somebody who's fighting a 97,000 front war?
Candace, I want to get to the reality of what you're actually saying. So when you say that somebody at Turning Point USA, Charlie's company, was complicit in his murder, who was?
I believe that there were multiple people at Turning Point who are, as I have said many times, my exact words are, they are engaged in a cover-up of what happened to Charlie on that day.
No, but who was involved in his murder?
I didn't say that they murdered Charlie.
You said that people at Turning Point were complicit in his murder.
No, my exact sentence that I said was that there were people at Turning Point who are engaged in a cover-up.
No. You said Charlie said he was going to, allegedly, you said Charlie was going to go against Israel. He had a meeting, secret meeting. He was in a room and he was scared. He was sweating, all this. Come on now, stick to your guns, baby. You good? You good with the twisting and manipulating? I'm still trying to see how you got married. You ovulate. Lord have mercy, because you be scared. You don't know when to believe you. You don't know when to believe you. You spinning like a mother.
No,
I believe that thoroughly.
Candace, you didn't say that. No. You said literally.
I did say that on my entire show.
You said there were people at Turning Point complicit in his murder.
Okay.
That's what you said.
When you and I were discussing, that's why I said, let's go back. I was applying the logic of a conspiracy to JFK. I said, okay, JFK, you have people that are complicit. Of course, if you apply that logic, if there is a conspiracy, there's going to be multiple people that are going to be complicit by the time, in order for a large stage murder to happen.
You specifically said, you didn't say complicit in a cover-up. You said complicit in the murder. Because I said, who at Turning Point was involved in his murder?
And let me clarify for you. Okay, you can keep saying what I said, or you can listen to what I am saying.
Okay.
When I was using the analogy of JFK and we were connecting it, I was basically pushing back on you because you were suggesting that, you know, all of these people being involved would be crazy. So I was applying the analogy of what happened to JFK. Well, you actually, if you go back and listen,
were
suggesting that a conspiracy.
I said you don't know either. You're floating theories.
When we started talking about the JFK thing,
listen, let me make it clear.
Piers, I really think you're not holding on to your thoughts
Candace,
here
correctly. Let me spell out my thought very clearly.
When we started talking about JFK, the implication that you were making was that it was crazy to suggest that multiple people could have been involved at different levels. I was then connecting the dots and saying that in order for the JFK assassination to happen, there had to have been tons of people that were complicit.
I understand. I heard what you said.
Maybe you're the person who takes the cameras down. Maybe you're the person that told him to drive that day. Maybe you're LBJ. So they're not all complicit in the murder, but they're all at different varying stages involved in the cover-up, right? So that's what a grand conspiracy actually is. And I do believe, so you don't have to go back and we don't have to go through it. I'm telling you what I think about Turning Point. You know, I am very known for being honest about what I believe. You're not, I'm not exactly a person that you got to pull teeth on.
Sure.
I believe that there are people at Turning Point who are engaged in covering up what happened on that day.
But were any of them engaged in the planning of the murder of Charlie Kirk?
I wouldn't know how it was planned. Absolutely, I can't make that. I cannot confidently make that statement. I can say confidently that I know they're engaged in the cover-up because I've been investigating what happened on that day and what transpired thereafter. I've been clear. I've named those people on my show. I've said they are engaged in a cover-up and I've listed the lies. So you don't have to try to make something out of what I didn't say. I tell you what I think. It's already controversial. We don't need to get more controversial, okay? Do I think someone at Turning Point pulled the trigger? No. Obviously, I don't think someone at Turning Point pulled the trigger.
Do you think anybody at Turning Point
did anybody
at Turning Point, in your opinion, know that Charlie Kirk was going to be murdered?
There is specifically 2 people at Turning Point USA, and I have communicated that information to Erica and Justin Strife that I would not be surprised if they had foreknowledge of Charlie Kirk being assassinated.
But do you have any evidence?
I'm not going to name. I am not going to name those people, okay? Because it's not right for me to name those people until I know for a fact that they did.
Did you give the names did you give the names to Erica?
Yes, so I absolutely did.
You gave the names to Erica of 2 employees, current employees at Turning Point, who you believe were involved in the preparation for the murder of Charlie Kirk. Is that what you're saying?
I told them that if I were in your shoes, these would be 2 employees that I would look further into. That's
and what evidence do you have that they had any prior knowledge of the murder?
Because I don't have concrete evidence is the reason why I'm not naming them. So I've been responsible.
You've got no evidence,
I'm not saying,
but you're telling the widow that these 2 people may have been.
Hold up. But you got no evidence, but you out here, come on, man. It's like putting your foot in your mouth. Like, come on, man. Lord, then, okay, I look at these people. This is okay. There's a lot of money flowing through that. It's a lot of money. But yeah, but I'm on live right now. Hold on. But it's a lot of money flowing through there. But still, our public schools are suffering. We got the education lottery. So why are we still paying for school lunch and we got all this lottery money? It's supposed to be for education. Wake up, people. That's allegedly. But that's just me. I'm just doing too much.
Involved in the murder. You see the problem.
Well, what the evidence for it is people that there was not concrete evidence. It's like you're trying to get me to say something that I never said and then asking me to defend it.
No, I'm asking what evidence you've got.
Let's actually go to. You're asking me privately. Did I communicate to them that I think you should look further? That's called an investigation, Piers. Okay. So what you're doing is a strategy of like if somebody dies, you're saying to police, you can't ask any questions about anybody unless you have concrete evidence. We're at the stage of investigation.
I'm not saying
yes,
that.
You can. And let me give people in the public the permission to do this. Follow your instinct. If you feel something is off, keep asking questions until you get concrete evidence. And when you have concrete evidence, you should name those people. I don't have the concrete evidence.
You have named other people.
There inconsistencies.
Okay. But you have named other people.
I'm trying to answer. Piers, you can't ask me questions. You can't ask me questions. Let me finish it. I have communicated to them that their inconsistencies make me uncomfortable. I have communicated to them that somebody else.
Hold up, Candace. Come on, sir. You ain't answering the questions. Question. When they say, well, what's your proof? Okay, you ain't no detective, but you should have something. You say Egyptian planes. I never heard of Egyptian planes. We got a whole new breed of planes out here. Or maybe y'all can school me. Put it in the chat. Let me know.
Who is a third party gave me some information that I am not yet comfortable as I am vetting it, giving it to the public because that's the responsible thing to do. These are private citizens. And that if I were in their shoes and had more access to information, I would go down that route, okay? Unless I am fully confident that they actually...
Oh, yeah, I believe. Like, that's just like getting into a damn Charlotte Hornets arena or stadium. Like, that shit should have been locked down. Like nobody's, I'm just getting in. Okay. Well, I'm just saying. You would think, but I'm just glad. I'm not glad nothing ain't happened, but I'm just saying we see that media ain't media. We need to do our own research and come on with our own. Well, you can say we're not conspiracy theories, but just go with the facts, right? But we can go with common sense too. We can deep dig in that instead of what the fuck they putting out. Because every time you see something on the front page, it ain't really what the fuck it really be going on. It's shock jock. It's this and that. You know what I'm saying? But let's go.
Did have something to do. Like here is the smoking gun. I'm not going to name those people, but the people I have named thus far are people that I believe are engaged in a cover-up. Like I said, hold me accountable for what I have said.
Let's talk about one of those people. Let's talk about one of those people because the Turning Point producer Blake Neff wrote this in early December. Ever since Charlie's murder, Candace Owens has leveled a flood of allegations against people at Turning Point USA, people at Turning Point Action, and people who work for the show. She has made them against some of Charlie's closest friends and against some of his most dedicated employees. She suggested that Michael McCoy, Charlie's chief of staff, knew Charlie would be murdered, was happy that he died, and stayed silent because he was told he would be the next Charlie. Now, let's move then to, you said in your podcast that new information was given to you in your meeting with Erica Kirk about Mikey McCoy that's now satisfied you. On a video on the 27th of October, you devoted the whole episode to this guy and his supposedly strange behavior. I never said I have
information that satisfied me about Mikey McCoy.
Well, I was going to clarify. Okay, well, you can clarify that in a moment. But let's hear what you said about Mikey McCoy before the meeting.
So we decided to slow this clip down, and we're going to watch this clip slow down so you can see that it is exactly 834 milliseconds from the time that you hear the shot. That is how long it takes for Mikey McCoy to put the phone to his ear. Now, why is that precise timing so important? Because there's no dialing. Mikey didn't have time to dial, okay? You can't dial and put your phone to an ear in 0.834 seconds.
Look at her, Gabrielle Union, mom. She's like a Caribbean Gabrielle. But this is allegedly, I can see the Oreo all on it. Excuse me, my life.
Now, what was the new information that you got in your meeting with Erica about?
Why are you smiling like that?
I'm sorry, your gotcha is not going too well, but I never then said, I am now satisfied that Mikey put the phone to his ear. What I presented to the public, it was
I didn't say that. Sorry, just to clarify.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you did say you have
inferred on your
satisfied.
Podcast. Well, let me give you the chance to clarify. It's a very familiar story when it comes to debt. The banks win, you pay fees and
shout out to Piers Morgan. Shout out Piers Morgan, because I got to use your content. You know what I mean?
Podcast.
And you would
fair use. Fair use.
Ash Piers.
I don't know about this. Shout out Piers. I got Because I be interested in the politics. I'm around like, yeah, man, screw nigga. We political now. Well, now, let me not say that too.
After the meeting with Erica, that you'd received new information about Mikey McCoy, which had changed your mind. Would that be the best way to categorize it, or changed some of your mind? No, I never said that.
I just presented it. Well, the only thing that I clarified on my podcast, if that's what they're getting wrong, is that some people thought that he was using a nickname that was his middle name. And actually his real name is Michael, like first name Michael, because I was like trying to find something and I was like, oh, maybe he's actually using his middle name. So that's what I clarified on my podcast.
And you were given call logs, is that right?
I presented.
You were shown call logs? You were shown call logs?
They gave me a printout of Mikey's call logs and I gave it to the public. That's it. I mean, they're saying this and then the public obviously comes back and says,
so do you believe Mikey McCoy had any prior knowledge of Charlie's murder?
I can't say that he had prior knowledge of the murder unless I have something concrete. I can't say anything about prior knowledge. What I can say is what happened on that day. Mikey's behavior is weird on that day. I find it weird, like I said on the podcast yesterday, that what has been communicated to the public is like he called Erica instantly. First thing he did was call Erica instantly. And that's actually the call logs show that he didn't call Erica instantly.
But what are you suggesting about this guy?
He called his wife instantly, and then he had 3 ways.
When you got a massive platform,
and then showing his call log showed that Blake Neff actually didn't tell the truth about what happened on that day.
But here's the problem, Candace. You have a massive platform, as you know. Millions and millions of people hang on your every word. When you devote a large part of an entire episode to the strange behavior of Charlie Kirk's chief of staff.
Let me end this live stream. Man, yo, bye. Just get out, baby. Just go ahead.